So what we're going to do is create a learning path. A learning path is created with the Planner widget. So how are we going to do this? We're going to the classwork. Just any course you created on Google Classroom, you pick one and then you go to classwork and create an exercise and go to BooKWidgets. As you know, you can only see this when you installed the BooKWidgets plugin. So it's a Chrome plugin. If you haven't installed it yet, I will share the link with you in the recording afterwards, so you can get it afterwards. So we just click on BooKWidgets right here, and then BooKWidgets opens in Google Classroom. We're going to create a new widget like this, and then we're going to choose, we're going to scroll down to the Planner widget. So most of you probably haven't used this widget yet because you don't know its potential and what it can do. So let me just show you real quick what I'm about to make. I've written a blog post about this, so you can go through it again if you want to and see the examples I've made just by clicking on it. I will share it with you. So the first thing I'm about to show you is how you can create this interactive learning path for a student with the planner. So students will get some exercises you predefined in a task list. Students will be able to tick them off if they have done it. So these are actually BooKWidgets exercises, one by one, put into different steps into a planner. This is one possibility, just a predefined task list. Students, the only thing they can do is do the exercises and tick off all the steps, and then they have done their work. So this is actually really handy when you want to let your students go through homework individually or through bigger projects or through a complete lesson individually. It could be a rehearsal, so a repetitive lesson. You've given all the theory and now they have to create and make the exercises on their own individually. The next option is to give students a predefined task list like this, but they can also, if they are done, they can also choose between other exercises you gave them, you've set up for them. So this is also a nice option. So they can just click on it. So let's take level 2. So this student has done worksheet level 1. So they have done everything like this. And then she wants to do worksheet level 2 and worksheet level 3. So she can just keep adding those things, which is really, really easy. And of course, it will engage your students more. Students that are working quicker than other students can just keep on working on harder exercises. And you can do the same for students that have more problems or work on a slower pace. This is also an example of differentiated learning, and I will show you that tomorrow, how you can get more out of that as well. But today I'm just going to show you how you can create a standalone learning path without extra tasks, and of course with the option of extra tasks. That's it. So the first thing, you go to Google Classroom, you create a BooKWidgets exercise, and you choose the Planner widget. Just click on it. And you are in the configuration screen of the Planner widget. You can give it a name. So today I'm going to create a planner, a lesson, a learning path, actually about Europe. That's the most important thing. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to define my tasks. You always have to predefine tasks in order to get an initial task list. This can be a little bit tricky, and that's why I want to show you this and I wanted to show you this in a webinar so you can get started and you don't have to get your heads around it, because I just explained it and it's easier to go. So let's just start. So we have general, we have the title, we have category colors, so you can give your planner colors if you want to. If I go to the example, I just gave this one category, but you can, if you want, give every step another color, or every exercise another color, every level maybe another color, and that you should do in the category. So these are the categories. You can change these colors if you want. I don't use them very much, but you can so if you want. Then we have the initial task list. The initial task list is a task list the students have to start with. In order to write these task lists down, we first have to predefine the tasks. This is really important, that you have to write them all here in the predefined tasks before you give your students a task list. This is because you could easily create a copy of this widget and then add some other initial tasks for other students. But the nicest thing to do is predefine all your tasks and then just choose what student gets what tasks and so on. So you can divide it. We have advanced settings. I'm going back to that just in a few minutes when I predefine my tasks. Before going to the general tab, I'm not changing anything yet. I'm just going to set here my predefined tasks. Those are the tasks students will find in the plus button right here, but you can hide it and just define a task list here. But the first thing you have to do is always predefine your tasks. I'll just click here and I'm going to add my tasks right here. And then I can label them. The label is actually, let me show you here, this. So the text that is going on each step will be the label. So you give your step or your task a title. So let's just start here. I'm going to make it easy. I'm just going to use step 1, step 2, step 3, so my students know what to do. Step 1 is our instructions. So I want to give my students some instructions before they go on and make every exercise in their own planner in the learning path. I can select an image, but I'm not going to do that because I'm going to add a widget. Again, here, if you're adding an image, the image will come here, but I'm adding a widget. So another BooKWidgets widget, so it will get the image of the widget. So you don't need to add another image here, just the widget. Like this. So no image. Just an optional link to the widget, like here. Let me just do that away. Okay. I'm going to select a widget that my students can open in the first one. So I've created a lot of other widgets in BooKWidgets. So this is why I needed you to know that you already know the beginner knowledge of BooKWidgets. You know how to create another widget, so you know where I get these. So I've created a quiz. It's actually just a text question. So it's not a question they have to fill out. It's just some instructions, some text they have to read with instructions. So I just click on it and it will go right in the first predefined task. Another nice thing to do is to select audio. So if you have students that are a little bit dyslexic or need more instructions, you can just select audio and record it right away. Let me do this right here. go to the widget and tick off I'm sorry, again. And this is not the one, okay. Click on the widget and read the instruction, then tick off the learning path tasks. So that's it. The nice thing about BooKWidgets is that you can always record your voice directly into the thing, into BooKWidgets. So there will be an audio on the first step, on step 1 instructions, and students can click on it and can hear what you are saying. This is just one task. I want to create a learning path with more tasks. So what I'm about to do is just add some other tasks. So the second task here is step 2. No image, no audio this time, just a widget. So my second step is that my students have to look at a video, a European video about Europe and how it evolves in years. So this one is ready as well. Another task is step 3. Select a widget. After seeing the video, they have to complete a quiz, like that. And then the last step, step 4, another widget is a crossword riddle to make it a little bit more fun about European capitals. So these are my predefined tasks. So this will be my task list. If you will click on preview, you're going to see that it's not yet what you're expecting. So it's an empty planner and the predefined tasks are right here. So this is also an option that your students can just drag and drop the steps and so on. But this is not what I want. I want to give my students already the steps, and I don't want to give them the option of this. I'm about to do this, and for this I go back like this, and I'm adding my predefined tasks to the initial task list. The initial task list is the list that students get when they open the widget and the task they have to make initially upon entry. They will see those tasks. What I have to do is just copy these exactly. This is really important. Copy and add it to the initial task list in the general tab, like this. And then we have step 2, step 3, step 4. Now, if you go to preview, you will see that there's initial task list. So those tasks are now into the planner upon entry. As my students still have the option to add other tasks of the initial task list. I don't want them to have that option because those are the same. Another thing you could do is add other predefined tasks. So when they are done, they have a choice to add more and more activities so they don't get bored. So that's also an option. You don't have to add all the activities in the initial task list, but it's nice to do so as well. You can see that students still have the option to move things around. I don't want that. And I also don't want that my students have the option to delete my tasks. So I'm going back and I'm going to change this. And this I'll do in the general tab with the advanced settings. So the advanced settings are all colored. What I'm about to do is important, so students won't be able to change the order of my learning path and won't be able to delete my tasks or insert other tasks. So I'm just going to tick this all off, and that's it. So if you go to preview now, you just have the initial planner, they cannot move things around, they cannot delete it, and they cannot add other things. So if you share this into Google Classroom, these are the things your students will have to do before, in order to go through your lesson individually. This is how it works. We have the audio. Students can click on it. Just if you be quiet, you can hear it. Click on the widget and read the instruction, then tick off the learning pad tasks. So that's really easy. So I go back, and actually my learning planner is done. So what I do next, actually, is just share it into Google Classroom. Like this. It's a lesson about geography, close, and send to Google Classroom. And now I'm showing you what I created so you can see what kind of content I've put in. I'm going to switch to the student. Here again, the stream is updated. The student can open the planner. So this is the planner icon. Here is also a BooKWidgets Planner. And they can get started individually on their homework or on any work. They can just click here to listen again, and then they can click here to read the instructions, and then they will go to the instructions. So this is a quiz, a text question. I'm using a text question. A text question is not an interactive question. It's just a question to give you information. So this is really nice to use when giving instructions in a planner. So I'm just saying that the students can click on the speaker icon if they need more instructions. They can click on the image on the right to open the interactive exercise. And then they can click on the little black arrow right here in the upper left corner to go back to the planner if they have done their exercise. So like this. I think I have someone coming in. Oh, this is not it. Yes, I still have to admit someone right here. Okay, so the student can just click, go to the instructions. This is the first step. She has done that, and she can go through the other step. The second one here is a YouTube video. It's just a link from YouTube. They can click on it and they can start watching it. So it's actually, so you can see Europe approaching in the year. So yeah, it's a nice video. It teaches them some history about all the tribes and all the countries and population that occupied Europe. They can go back if they saw the video like this, tick it off and go to the quiz about Europe like this. Okay. Oh, I've already made it. So this is a quiz I created 2 days ago. This is really nice. Just yeah, as a student I can just fill it out. This is the interactive activity like this. Just so we'll make a mistake. So it's Belgian chocolate, cheese, paella. Let's make another mistake like this, and Belgian waffles. And this is a quiz I made, and it's an automatically graded quiz as formative assessment. So students will see their grades, will see the correct answers. They don't have to submit it to the teacher. Of course, this is still possible that they submit their work to you and that you have to review it first and then return it to the student via Google Classroom. But this time, I just want my students to go through the planner, the learning path individually, so the student can see the answers and what she did right and what she did wrong. So it's automatically created. As you know, that's possible in BooKWidgets. So we go back, she learned from that one, and then she can start the last exercise, and this is just, it's a nice game. Here we go, I think. My computer is stuck again. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so this is a game. I think I have to admit other people again, like here. Okay, so this is a game that's really just about the capitals. So what's the capital of Finland, what's the capital of Slovenia, and so on. They can go back and they can tick it off, and that's it. They have done everything they want. As a teacher, you can set individually in every different widget, like a quiz or any learning game, that they have to submit it to the teacher. So that's still possible. So you can check if they really did it or not. And that's also sometimes handy if you really want to review your students. Yeah, then a nice tip is, I'll just reveal this. A nice tip for you guys is that if you create a learning path, it's really nice to use a video, then a quiz about it, or ask some questions about the video, and then change it with a learning game and use a learning game as well. So this was one way to use it. Another way I'd like to show you, I'm going to back to the teacher right here. And I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to edit my planner right here. And I'm going to add some predefined tasks in blue. And I'm going to add another other exercises students can choose from when they have done their exercises. This is just a label you can use for an advanced team of students or students that are less advanced, and they can just choose what kind of difficulty level they use for their next exercise and add it. They can, of course, use both as well. So I'm going to select the widget. This is a blue one. And then add another one, red. I think it's red, like here. Then if I go to the then I should go to general and go to advanced, because I want my students to choose and add more exercises. This is here, so allow students to insert tasks. This is on. So let's go to preview again. Then you can see this is still the same because I didn't change the initial task lists, but I added some predefined tasks like here. So students will be able to add these exercises to their own learning path. Click on this and click on this. So they can add these as well. So that's it. I can imagine that this is a lot to handle because it goes from the predefined tasks to the initial task list, and you have a lot of possibilities. You can get some categories, there are advanced settings and so on. So please, if you have questions, contact me. And this webinar, this lesson idea, this webinar about learning paths is also recorded, and you'll get the recording in your inbox so you can rewatch it and rewatch it if necessary.